Topping the news tonight, financial service reform continues as the government looks to close loopholes, avert sanctions, and strengthen business. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Peter Turnquest, detailed the latest initiatives to achieve those goals and what they will mean for business. Here's Tanya Smith-Cartwright.
Aiming to enrich the financial service sector, the government of the Bahamas has sought to develop a new framework aimed at reinforcing industry regulations and protecting revenues to the public treasury. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Peter Turnquest, held a press conference today and said we should expect a levied playing field in the financial sector after the proposed financial sector reforms framework is set.
Remove the barrier that prevented these other international banks from participating in the local market. So what we've, with the central bank, decided is that we will make the playing field level for all banking institutions in the Bahamas, that they're all eligible to participate in the local market. However, they will have to meet the standards and regulatory requirements in order to do so. And so that will remove any concerns with respect to preferences and the substance issues that surround that.
The Minister of Finance explained what the financial reform framework will accomplish with effect January 1st, 2019.
It will remove any difference in the fiscal treatment of financial institutions that cater primarily to domestic markets and those financial institutions that cater to international clientele. This is essential to removing the preferential treatment of specific businesses as implemented under the recently passed Removal of Preferential Exemptions Act 2018.
Framework for the new reform proposes that financial institutions, to include a myriad of entities, will be exempted from paying business license fees when renewing or applying for a license, and that's starting January 2020. Here's what the Minister of Finance said those exempted would have to do in lieu of the business license fees.
All financial institutions will pay a flat registration fee, which will be set on a sliding scale between $2,250 and $250,000 per annum, although small institutions like credit unions will pay a much lower fee, as is currently the case. The applicable fee will be determined primarily by the operational complexity of the institution, which aligns with the level of resources expended to regulate financial institutions based on their respective size and complexity. 2, all financial institutions that are deemed systemically important, as determined by their degree of integration into the domestic financial system, will be subject to an additional fee in respect of Bahamian dollar liabilities and contingencies. This reflects the need to mitigate the threat that any domestically systemically important institution can pose to the entire Bahamas financial system. And 3, any bank wishing to access the domestic payment system and or wishing to operate as an authorized agent or for Bahamian dollar transactions will be charged fees reflecting the substantial supervisory and management costs of these arrangements for the Central Bank of the Bahamas and other public sector agencies.
Mr. Turnquest said it is important to strike the right balance between economic sustainability and compliance with international standards. For ZNS Network News, this is Tanya Smith-Cartwright.